may be getting older, but that doesn't mean that we have to live with all the consequences. Heavy bleeding, pain, or pressure are not okay. A common solution can be a hysterectomy, but the surgery doesn't have to be like it was for your mom. So how do you know if it's the right thing for you? Here to explain, welcome back, gynecological surgeon, Dr. Robert Zerwin with MIRI Women's Health, M-I-R-I Women's Health. Okay, so conventional wisdom before has been the, okay, oh, you're having problems, yank it out. Right. We don't have to necessarily yank it out. There are things that we can do before then that could correct a problem of the heavy bleeding and the fibroids and things like that.
Right. Well, you know, hysterectomy is still the most common operation for women, and next to cesarean section. Over 600,000 of them are done a year, and many of them don't have to be done at all. We have a lot of options nowadays that are short of hysterectomy, even that are not surgical at all. And that
can it be as easy sometimes as a hormone imbalance?
Many times it is just a hormone imbalance, but the key to that is getting the right diagnosis. Right. And that involves going to somebody who knows actually how to make the right diagnosis and offer you all the options. You know, there's an old saying that if the only tool you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
And so if you only have a hysterectomy, that's all you know how to offer. And not only that, most hysterectomies are still done with an abdominal incision. And not enough doctors are familiar with or trained to do it through a small incision, laparoscopy, or robotically.
Yeah, and that means a lot because you're talking less downtime, less risk of infection, and all those types of things.
Sure.
Yeah, compared to the traditional hysterectomy, what used to happen in the olden days, or some doctors still do it that way?
Well, actually, many of them do it this way. You know, right now in San Francisco, the American College of OB/GYN is having their meeting, and they just announced that actually the average OB/GYN only does 10 hysterectomies a year. And that's not enough to really be able to be proficient. I mean, you wouldn't get in an airplane with a pilot that only does 10 flights a year, or a heart surgeon. And so you have a lot of other options that are available. So the old way of doing it was opening an abdominal incision, sort of like a C-section or an up and down incision, and giving you a view where you can put your hands in and actually use the instruments. Now with the new technologies, you don't need that at all. You can go through the belly button with small incisions.
Yeah. In fact, you're taking a look at it right now. So this is the minimally invasive way of doing it.
Right, so here's a small incision in the belly button, or the umbilicus, and we put a scope through there. Now, actually, sometimes you can do it with just that one incision, what's called single incision surgery. But we often make another couple of small incisions, all of them maybe about as big as your fingernail, insert instruments in there, and then can take out fibroids or do hysterectomies, remove ovaries or cysts.
Yeah, and that's the cool part about this. This is not an all or nothing type of thing. So sometimes if the fibroids are just the issue, you take out the fibroids, as you just mentioned. And then we sometimes hear people say they're getting a total hysterectomy or a partial. What determines total and partial?
Okay, well, that's lay terms. Actually, a complete hysterectomy for most people means taking out the uterus and ovaries and tubes. But and a partial hysterectomy is just taking out the uterus. And there's actually something called a subtotal hysterectomy where we even leave the cervix. But for doctors, actually, a complete hysterectomy is just taking out the entire uterus as opposed to leaving just the cervix.
Okay. There are certain doctors who do this, and that's one thing that we find in doing these Medical Mondays. Not all doctors are the same, and people have a tendency to think that, well, if this is the title you have, then you do everything like everybody else does it. It's not all the same.
Well, I think it's fair. You know, many of our doctors, especially in Houston, are very skilled in doing this. I think if you're considering a hysterectomy, not only should you find out, does your doctor do it frequently and how well and their outcomes, but also, are they familiar with other options? There are new things out there, like now that was mentioned before with ultrasound. We have a very tiny ultrasound machine. They can go through one of those incisions and actually do a procedure called accessa, which is where you don't even take out the uterus. You put a needle into the fibroid and ablate it using radio frequency energy, which is like electrical energy, and is guided by an ultrasound that we actually use laparoscopically. So you don't have to have a hysterectomy. You can have your fibroids treated, and you don't have to even have an incision.
Yeah, it's just a more direct attack on the problem as opposed to taking out the entire uterus. All right, and of course the important thing there is I know there are a lot of women who put it off and they suffer and they put it off and they put it off because they're afraid of how aggressive the surgery could be because they saw their mom go through it or grandmom. And then also what the downtime might be, because mamas and women, we have no downtime. That's the whole deal, right?
That's true. Well, actually, laparoscopic surgery, usually you can be back to work in 10 days to a couple of weeks. Some people sooner, but I think I recommend that they really take some time off. But it's more than that, actually, Deborah, because, you know, women will delay having the surgery because they just don't want to lose their uterus at all. Sometimes I'll see uteruses the size of an 8-month pregnancy, and I say, well, I know you know that this was
There's a problem.
a problem.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do anything? He says, well, I don't want to lose my uterus. And they say, well, I was born with a uterus. I want to die with a uterus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And typically, we'd like to keep our body parts, but when it's causing you that kind of trouble, other things can happen. You know, when you're having major problems with the uterus, could that be something that leads to uterine cancer at some point?
Well, actually, in the news this last year, there was a lot of play about a tumor called a uterine sarcoma, which is a certain kind of fibroid-related tumor, and it was hidden. It's very difficult, actually it's almost impossible to diagnose. And so people were having surgery and with the uterus or the fibroids removed without really knowing that the tumor was there, and they ran into problems. No, you actually, most of the time, can detect a cancer ahead of time. Some of the trickiest things are actually the ovarian cancers.
Right.
We don't really have the best tests to determine ovarian cancer ahead of time. Uterine cancer, better. Cervical cancer, terrific. We never miss those.
All right. So besides hysterectomy, there are several other procedures that you do there as well. So if you're having any issues down there, ladies, they can take care of it. To learn more about minimally invasive hysterectomies, visit MaryWomen.com or call 844-243-9010, 844-243-9010. And to connect with Dr. Zerwin, call 713-688-0720, 713-688-0720. Thank you very much.
Always great to see you.